experience has helped Davion. When you watch the film, what have you seen, and how much is it getting less each week where you have to tell him to be pre-snap?
So I think from the start, Davion's a guy who came in and was just eager to learn as much as he could. And I think, mentally, it's when you're looking on it just from a blackboard standpoint, it's easier to kind of understand, but you really have to do it to truly understand how everything works. And you just see him week by week fixing mistakes that he's made in the past, or even trying to tell me some things that he sees. And so I think, week by week, we're continuing to grow together. And I think you see that with his play starting to really show up in big-time moments in the game.
Is there one example you can give me of something that maybe early in the year that all of a sudden you're like, oh, I know that he's definitely.
Yeah. I think he's been really in tune with the quarterback's drop. So if it's a deeper drop, he's going to get more depth, and if it's a shorter drop, he's going to be more set and ready to break. And you see him, as soon as the ball's thrown, you see him now flying around. His feet are in the ground, and he's ready to move, which is tough at linebacker because you're looking at so many different things. So I think he comes in and he wants to focus on one thing at a time and get better at that, and he's done a great job of that.
How did the Saints offense look without Alvin Kamara compared to?
Obviously, it's still a really good offense. I think he definitely brings a different dynamic just in terms of the player that he is, but just in schematically how they run things is they're very structurally sound and they're very technically sound. Their O-line does a great job of moving people and getting people to kind of chase and then cut it right back. So, and then obviously you throw a guy like that into the mix, it makes things a lot more difficult.
Nick sort of gave you credit after the game for helping to set the tone of physicality for the team. Is that something that you take seriously?
It's one of those things that's kind of just how I've always been taught to play. I think from a young age, that's something that I've always wanted to do. And, going into college, I wanted to continue that. It's really the only way I know kind of how to play. So I just try to, do my job to the best of the ability that I can. And, if I can dump someone, I'll definitely be ready to do that.
Are there, other things in your life that you take, like a physicality type thing?
Not really. I'm actually, pretty shy and all that stuff. But just when you're on the football field, there's only one way to play, in my opinion. So just kind of how it's been.
When you have a day like today where you guys have a walkthrough in the middle of the week, obviously your bye's not until real late in the season. How big is that? You had a day off earlier.
Yeah.
How important is that for you guys at this point in the season?
Yeah, it's big time, especially coming off a physical game like the last one we had. It was, awesome of Coach to give us kind of Monday to let our bodies heal, and today has been a huge mental day. We're still got a couple walkthroughs and things like that where guys are super locked in mentally because, we know just because we're not practicing, it's still something that we need to make sure we're on because we got a really good team coming in here on Sunday.
TJ, you're playing the Saints. The last time you played them was the last time you won a home game.
Yeah.
Does that seem even possible to you that it's been that long without a home win?
Yeah, obviously it's tough that we haven't got one at home, and we're definitely not trying to lose at home. So it's one of those things. But I know we're excited just in terms of what this game means to everyone, means to us, just to keep our momentum going. And but we also know we have a really good team coming in here, so we have to be at our best.
You have a lot of good things in front of you. Schedule, no traveling, whatever. If you're looking at these as like a playoff game against New Orleans, you have to win these games.
Yeah, again, I think you look at every game like it's a must-win, especially in our league. It's one where we know we didn't start off as hot as we wanted to, so we know that these next games mean everything. And you can tell just by the focus and the energy that everyone's kind of carrying with them this week that how important these games are and these next games, going forward.
The Saints still have Taysom Hill on their roster, and they still tie you some special packages. How much
Yeah.
time are you guys devoting to preparing for that, and what have you seen so far this year from him?
Yeah, they again, he's their Swiss Army knife. He does a lot for them in terms of even special teams. And I'm watching tape on him and teams, and but he comes in and they know what they want to do with him. So it's something that we have to account for. He makes a lot of plays with his feet, and he can also throw the ball from. Obviously we played them last year when he was a starter, so we know a little bit about how he plays and what they kind of want to do with him. So we'll have to account for him for sure.
Is there someone on the TL team that's simulating him this week, or kind of come in certain packages and doing things?
We just did walkthrough today, so I honestly couldn't tell you, if I'm being honest with you.
TJ, how obvious is it that Javon is getting a lot more attention? Does that show up pretty easily?
Yeah, when you watch the film, you just see how destructive those guys are up front, especially him and Fletch, just in the middle, just causing havoc and obviously making our jobs a whole lot easier. So, you can tell just kind of how teams are scheming us that they're going to want to get bodies to those guys, and just because of what they've done in the past.
When you look at the defense
offense overall since the beginning of the season. A lot of young guys, have gotten a chance to play.
Yeah.
Kind of like based on merit. I mean, what does that say that if a guy's playing well enough, like you and Davion and Epps and Bell on the defensive line?
Yeah.
What does that say? Guys like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's it's the NFL, and I think that's the best part about this league is the best person's going to play, and no matter what, your experience or things like that, you're going to come in, and if you're ready to play and you're playing well, you're going to keep on rolling. And I think this coaching staff does such a good job of trusting the guys and giving us kind of the keys to what we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to do it, and we just go out there and execute after that. So it's been good.
I wanted to ask you, you've obviously seen more doubles than you did earlier in the year. Does it ever get frustrating to deal with that, and how do you handle it?
I mean, it definitely get frustrating sometimes, but at the same time, it just shows how much respect, I guess, the other team has for you. So I really don't let it get to me at all.
Are there specific coaching points for how to try to beat them and split them? Like, do you have to do things differently than when you see a one-on-one?
Oh, most definitely. We got different techniques that we try to use, but I think the important thing is if I get double teamed, the other guys win in their one-on-ones.
Is it kind of like you can't get too far out of yourself trying to beat it because you have to be disciplined in a way?
Yeah, you can't do too much because you can mess up the whole rush of things, and it can cause quarterbacks to step up, or you can just do bad things for the team. So, like I said, if I'm getting doubled, getting a slide, like Fletch been killing his dude, or Sweat, or DB getting the one-on-ones.
Fletch appreciative of it because he was
Oh
getting
yeah.
for a while.
Oh yeah, he destroying people right now, so he definitely loving it.
Javon, after the game, we saw a little video the Eagles put out about, and you saw at the end of it, Rodney's message to the team about finding consistency if you have to have that. Is that a message that's going on this week? And what kind of leader is Rodney to this entire defense, having been around as long as he has?
Oh yeah, Rodney's somebody who done played a lot of football, so won a Super Bowl. So we definitely lean on him. Going through the week and preparing through the week. He come and talk to everybody, giving us little tips and things, or just pushing the defense whole team to go harder. But like I said, consistency in everyday life is a big thing. When things ain't going right, you just lean on consistency, and you'll start seeing the results.
In the summer, the past few weeks, the running game's been pretty effective. When you go up against them in practice, what makes those guys tough to contain?
Who our offense?
Yeah.
So we don't really go against them as a defense, but we got great bats. Like you see, Boston Scott done played a lot of football. Jordan Howard, he was a monster for Chicago. He actually killed me my second year in the league. And Miles is a guy. So we got great bats, and most importantly, we got a great offensive line.
In the summer, you were pretty confident you get a career high in sacks this year. You're kind of sitting at 6 now since the Carolina game. How eager are you to get that next one, to get that career high?
Man, I'm always eager to get a sack anytime, even if it's not a career high. That's not saying that's all we put in the work for, but that's a big thing we put all this hard work in is get sacks and get tackles. So.
Has it been frustrating that you've been sitting just at that half sack behind a few weeks now?
Oh yeah, I'm going a little crazy, but it feels better when you're winning than when you're losing. So with a win, it made me feel a lot better. But with a loss, I just talk to myself.
I guess you want both, right?
Yeah, most definitely. That's a perfect combination.
You have 7 games in front of you. I know you have to worry about New Orleans, but you have 7 games in front of you, virtually no traveling. It's right in front of you. You guys talk about that, but you can actually make something special out of this with what's in front of you.
I mean, I think we just most importantly, we just got to take care of this week, New Orleans. This the NFL, so you can't really overlook and look down and seeing who you playing. It's just most importantly taking advantage and taking care of New Orleans this week.
What do you think about the defensive line calls or how you guys playing against the Broncos compared to the Chargers game?
You said different calls?
Yeah, from a line standpoint.
I don't think it was more calls. I mean, I think we was more prepared. We know a lot of teams scheme and try to do different things, hard counting and quick counting, and just do things to frustrate us. So we was more mentally prepared this game.
One more for Javon. Something different to counteract you guys that the Chargers and Denver did?
They try to do the same, a little bit of the same thing, but like I said, we was kind of prepared off of seeing what the Chargers did against us and being more prepared this game.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll get Jordan.
I actually wanted to ask you about how we talked about each individual guy a lot on the O-line, but just how you're playing together as a unit, and because this group has kind of had some time now, which you guys really haven't had in a couple of years to play as a group.
Yeah.
What's your thought on that?
I think it comes down to two things. You know, like you said, the cohesiveness, to having the continuity of the same line. It kind of helps building that connection that you need. You know, you really need that. Playing next to the same guy, you know, is he going to cover my back on a play? And you know, the more and more experience we get to play with the same five guys up front, I think it just, you know, the connection is one of our core values is going to rise. And two, the other part is the coaching. You got Sirianni and Stout, very detailed coaches on the angles of departure, especially Stout. I mean, you guys talk to Stout, you know how he is, and so making sure that all the techniques are being applied, covering the what ifs. What would happen on this play? This defender did this, and so, yeah, I think that's what I got for you.
What's different for you? What's different for you between Isaac and Landon? You know, do they move differently?
Oh, 100%, 100%. I think with Landon, I love the guy. You guys know I love Big Bopper. Big Bopper, I love Big Bopper. It's like a very athletic fridge. That's Landon. Very athletic fridge. Country strong, insane. I think with Isaac, very technique based. Everything's like just calculated. It's just like, it's almost like he's a robot, you know. Like, but he's not a robot because he's not stiff. Not saying Landon's stiff. Not saying that. Not saying that. I love you, Landon. But just saying.
Go ahead.
No, that's all I was saying. I was saying
a
like,
fridge and a robot.
but it's not a robot. It's like an android. There's a difference.
Okay.
Androids and robots.
What was your reaction to see Lane on film and the times he was
Burying
doing
people?
his first down thing, and just also versus where he's come from, to see him have that kind of joy again? It just seems like.
When I see Lane do that, it kind of inspires me to kind of do the same thing. You know, that's like infectious. It's great. It's Lane doing Lane things. It's, you know, that's what he's just showing emotion. You know, execution fuels emotion, and that's one of the things that, you know, Coach Stout always says, and you can see it with Lane's, you know, when he does that little first down action. It's just the emotion. When you execute the right technique and you get rewarded for it, you can't help but celebrate. Just don't face the defender because you might get flagged.
Along those lines, what is it like for you guys to watch the tape the next day and visually see how you guys are pulling guys off?
Oh, it's great. It's great when you see it, and then you see the bad plays and you're just like cringing. You're like, God damn, like you just did the same play and you displaced that dude, and you watch the next play and you're like, what happened there? So it kind of goes both ways. You know, we don't really blow ourselves up. We really just, Stout will never let you blow it up, you know. So we come in there and we understand, we know the plays that we were messed up on. So we're just kind of just sitting there counting down on the plays that, you know, like, oh, I know what plays next. This is the one where I messed up. And so it's kind of nice. A few, you know, if we're going to be honest. And, you know, it kind of grounds us. You know, we go into a room like that and the coach doesn't blow smoke up anybody's behind. So it's easy, or not easy, but it's a nice, balanced progression in that room.
Is it tougher, by the way? I'm sorry. Is it tougher to go to, when you played the Trojans, you guys were very downhill, different type of blocking scheme as opposed to coming out in shotgun and running from that. As linemen, is that a more difficult transition from a week-to-week thing than it might seem to be on?
Yeah, it definitely means that we got to get off the mate blocks or combo blocks a lot faster with those downhill linebackers. But, you know, they were doing similar things to what the Chargers were doing, you know, with moving the front, moving the 4-down lineman or 5-down lineman. So, yeah.
The screen to Boston was
Oh.
that one that could have been a touchdown?
God. Yeah, I messed up. Execution was bad. You know, we practiced that play so many times, and I think it was just a timing error on my part. You know, we have different techniques on that play, and I took too long. The timing was off, and then when I realized, you know, how far Boston was downfield, and when he caught the ball, I knew I was going to mess it up, and I tried to be in balance, and I ended up just screwing the play over. So yeah, that one's on me. I'll do a better job.
What's the teaching principle
that's giving away the coaching tips, man. Basically, I just got the timing down right. All right, without giving away the technique, but gotta get the timing down right. It was on me, so it's gotta be better.
That was a play that Jalen checked to beforehand, snap, right?
Yeah, he checked to that play.